Okay, let's get into it. So we're going to continue our free course, The Zodiac and the Gospels. The Secret Truth About J.C. the Christ Figure by the Reverend Bill Darrell-El. So this begs the question, of course, why is the truth a secret? And what is the Zodiac doing in the Gospel? All right. So we stopped on, so welcome those of you who are new, welcome, few expectations. If you stay longer than 5 minutes, like and share the video. If you don't want to do that, I want you to leave. No one-way street. If you've been here more than twice and you haven't subscribed, and you've stayed longer than 5 more minutes, I expect for you to subscribe, okay? No one-way streets here, all right? The reason why I'm putting these expectations on you is because YouTube shadow bans this channel, and the only way the information that I'm presenting will get out is if you, each one of you, share it, all right? If you share it. If you like it, maybe it will impact the algorithm a little bit more, but certainly if you share it, somebody else will get it, okay? All right. So much appreciated that you will keep that gentleman's agreement, all right? So we're on the last paragraph of page 174, okay? The last paragraph of 174. So let's begin. However, the lessons of the fig tree are not exclusively concerned with the spiritual life. So let me backtrack. This subheading here is the cursing of the fig tree and the cleansing of the temple, okay? However, the lessons of the fig tree are not exclusively concerned with spiritual life. The text implies that human beings, that's the Han Uman, the hybrid, always make the distinction, okay? Even if the author may mean man or mankind in his own mind, you should be aware of, cognizant of, that human being is a colorable man, the symbolicum without the substance, okay? Like a knockoff Gucci bag or a pair of knockoff Nike shoes or knockoff Nike anything. All right, Genesis chapter 1 and Genesis chapter 2, all right? The text implies that human beings can effect change in the physical world. That persistent prayer involving the mind. So what is prayer? What's the essence of prayer? The essence of prayer is concentrating your mind on something, okay? Concentrating your mind on something. Typically, people tend to experience better results when they don't think about themselves or a problem that they have, right? Because what you focus on is what continues to show up in your life, right? So if you focus on, for example, all women, some negative thing about women, well, those women who have those characteristics are going to be the ones you meet. Same thing, vice versa, if you're a woman and a man, or people in general, right? You focus on some negative trait that someone has, well, you'll start to see people show up, more of them, more of those type of people who have those negative traits that you don't like. They'll be coming into your life. Why? because you're thinking about them, and the thought produces intense emotion, right? And you activate your creative faculty of your mind in a negative way, all right? In a negative way. Okay, so that persistent prayer involving mind, will, and faith can achieve. In Tennyson's words, quote, more than this world dreams of, end quote. Such thinking is anathema to the materialistic philosophies of the contemporary world, which consider mind to be an epiphenomenon, a byproduct of matter. So we should have common sense enough to know that that's not the case. Even science has proved that the mind is outside of the physical body. That means that the mind is outside of the brain. So the mind is non-local. The physical body is local, right? You can locate it by coordinates, longitude, latitude, right? You can locate the physical body. But the mind, the I and I, self, law, and master, the I is non-local. It's everywhere and nowhere. It's expressing through this physical body, but it's not here. Okay? So this is consciousness. So this is why people will enlighten people know that we're all one. Okay? A condensation of that same consciousness localized in the physical body. Okay? So I got my own channel. Let's say I'm channel 1. The next person, they have their own frequency or own channel, right? And depending on the decisions that you make, what you do, that's going to be whether you're vibrating at the higher self and that consciousness, that frequency of consciousness, or lower self and the lower self frequency of consciousness. Okay, so that's what this is saying. So this is the mind sciences. That's all it is, consciousness. So some people call it this city consciousness. Some people call it Christ consciousness. Some people call it the all, right? The all is mind. Some people call it divine, what is it called? Divine providence or something like that. Many, many words for it, okay? But it is consciousness, and consciousness cannot be created or destroyed. It is the most fundamental energy that exists. Okay, so consciousness is awareness, it is intelligence, pure awareness, pure intelligence. Okay, so you have no limitation except for the limitations you allow other people to put on you, whether you're aware of it or not, and the limitations you put on yourself. All of this is based upon your beliefs. Some things you believe and you're not even aware of it. You had nothing to do with it. Your teachers put it in your mind. Somebody, maybe you're afraid of the policy enforcers. They put a belief in your mind, right? Your parents put a belief in your mind. People closest to you, usually authority figures. And experiences that cause you to have a lot of pain or pleasure will form beliefs, okay? And then, of course, you form your own, right? Because you're coming in with a clean slate at birth. Then you get these situations, opinions, etc., indoctrination pushed on you, forced on you, and they become beliefs, all right? And then those beliefs can actually grow and lead to you having additional beliefs, all right? So in the success and achievement literature, most, if not all, of the techniques and strategies that they teach, the objective of them is to help you to break down those beliefs or that belief system. Become aware of it and break it down, okay? And to replace it with empowering beliefs. So once you have the empowering beliefs, then that's when things start to appear in your life. That's called manifesting. Okay, and intense emotion is the driver of that. All right, so let's continue. So you see these gospel stories, again, my point is they're using mind sciences. Okay, and of course that's going to have an appeal. That has absolutely nothing to do with the contract, with the commandments, absolutely nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with natural law, the instructions, i.e. keeping the commandments. It has nothing to do with the terms of the contract. All right, the contract is very clear. Follow all the commandments. In other words, Exodus chapter 20, verse 12. Honor your ancient foremothers and ancient forefathers, period. All right? In doing so, the reward that you get is physical, tangible, pinned, expressed at Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14, period. Reiterated in terms of reclamation, redemption, Deuteronomy 30. All right? So when you get kicked out, here's the way back. Simply follow the Most High's instructions. Follow natural law. Keep the commandments. Hold your ancient ancestors in high regard. Live the way they lived. Why? Because they kept the commandments. That's the contract, right? All of the people agreed to keep the contract. Everyone remembers that, right? To not do it is a corruption of the blood. A corruption of the blood is short for a corruption of the blood of the contract. Period. You violated natural law. What is the blood? Not the animal blood like you've been taught in religion. No, it's simply the blood of the grape. The glorious, magnificent blood of the grape. Wine or unfermented wine. Why? Because the harvest is the most glorious part of the year. The harvest is the climactic part of the year. If it was sex, that would be the orgasm. All right? And don't mess that up. See how long your partner will stay with you if you do that. You mess that up, right? Especially intentionally, okay? See if they won't find somebody else. Why? Because you did that intentionally, okay? Not by mistake, intentionally, more than once, more than twice, 3 times, right? So these things that you have learned, that you have been indoctrinated with, are contrary to natural law. That's my point. Contrary to natural law. Therefore, it's against you and your well-being, your peace of mind. Peace of mind, shalawama, is Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14. That's one of the blessings. So all of this sweet talk and philosophizing, fancy words, all of this stuff is nonsense when you're rooted in nature. Okay? All you got to do is hear a little bit of it and you say, okay, well, that's garbage. Right? Such thinking is anathema to the materialistic philosophies of the contemporary world, which consider mind to be an epiphenomenon, a byproduct of matter. Of course it is not. We just discussed that. The mind is energy, consciousness. The body is flesh, right, or matter. E equals mc squared. The two can what? Become interchangeable. All right. For Gnostics, however, consciousness is primary, and the material universe is a crystallization of mind, the last in a long line of increasingly dense let me read. What is this? My print is not the best, y'all. Okay, I think this is imaginations. I think this is a typo. From the divine. Okay, so basically what he just told you is all. The all. All right? The all consciousness consolidates or condenses into material things. All right? For Gnostics, however, consciousness is primary. Okay, in other words, consciousness is the first thing. And everything else comes from consciousness. Consciousness, therefore, has to be what? Energy. E equals mc squared. Energy can not be created or destroyed. That means that energy is what? Eternal. Always was, always will be. E equals mc squared. Energy changes form. It does not die. And that's it. So consciousness is eternal. Consciousness is awareness and intelligence. Therefore, it's impossible for there ever to have been a beginning. That makes logical sense, does it? Because you can never get something from nothing. But y'all been brain effed into thinking that there's a Big Bang really happened, where there's nothing and then all of a sudden, kaboom. There's an explosion from nothing. And me included, at one time believed it. But it didn't last long with me. I understood it when I was, a child. When I got to college, I studied it more. I always liked cosmology. I studied it more, and it wasn't long before I saw that it was garbage. It was a trick. Common sense, y'all. We have a saying. You can't get blood from a turnip. All right? So this is not new. Everybody knows that. Okay? You can't get something from nothing. So that means there never was a time when man was not. Y'all see that? But y'all have been indoctrinated to believe that there is a beginning. No, there is no beginning. Impossible. It is impossible. You've been indoctrinated to think that everything has a beginning. Why? Because you see a woman gives birth. You see animals giving birth. You see flowers coming up from the soil. Right? And you've been lied to in school that the universe has a beginning and man has a beginning. They've created fake sciences like can't say the word. Anthropology, like anthropology. Y'all check the history of anthropology. Look at all the fakes. Look at what they actually do. Okay? Well, we can take a tooth, and based upon the size of the tooth, then they make all of these assumptions. They never tell you that these are assumptions. They never tell you that the measurements that they're using or the techniques that they're using, there's no verification that whatever those living things are had the dimensions and proportions that they're assuming. It's all imaginary, all made up. Of course it's logical. Otherwise you wouldn't believe it, you wouldn't buy it. Also, fake artifacts. Of course they have to fake it. Because otherwise, it'd be an obvious lie, right? So why are they lying? Well, because their mission is to control your mind, what you believe, what you think, your time references. Why? Because they want to dominate you, have superiority over you, have you look at them as the authority, so that you can't make a move because you don't trust yourself until the authority, the white man, says it. So that when your parents, when your kinfolk rather, so that when your nation gives you instruction when you, this is law, when you look into the etymological meaning and the history of it, all right, it is law. So when your kinfolk give you the law, when they legislate, when they enforce, when they adjudicate, you ain't trying to hear it. You don't trust them. You need to hear it from the hybrid troglodyte, Paleolithic nigger. Who has abused you, oppressed you, robbed you, cheated you, hit you with bills of attainder, but you don't know because you don't have any knowledge of these things. And then you come back saying, I forgive you. Talking about how good of a Christian you are. Wanting to hug them like a complete fool. Nobody respects that. What you're telling them and what they're thinking, oh, okay, well, I'm going to do it again. This was free. This free. And they like it. Because hybrids have what? They're half animal. Chimpanzee. Y'all know chimpanzees are hunters, right? They hunt other primates. So they have an urge to expire people, if you know what I mean. They like it. And you can see that in their culture, in their history. They eat raw meat. Y'all search on YouTube, okay? You'll see a lot of hybrids eating raw chicken, raw beef, blood all over. They like it. Y'all know in our history in North America, they were cannibals. Probably, they still are, in fact. All right? Anyway, let's continue. I kind of went off on a tangent. But what I want you to see is that in the New Testament, much of it is mind sciences, couched, or hidden in these stories, all right? So let's continue. In such a system of thought, matter can be made to respond to the dictates of the mind. So what is this called? This is called intention, right? So when you hear people who are enlightened talking about massive action is, it's important, you should do it, but more important than that is your intention. Or some people will say the giraffe got such a long neck because it would look up at a tree and desire to get the foliage on the tree. So its intention was to get that foliage, therefore its DNA accommodated or supported its desire, and therefore it grew a long neck. Now just how true that is, I don't know. But your intention is extremely important, equally as important as the need to take massive, consistent, persistent action, okay? In other words, you're working toward a goal, you're taking action steps every day, constantly taking a look around your environment, seeing if you're getting the results that you want, adjusting as needed. Your intention is always the completion, or you see yourself having achieved whatever it is that you want to achieve. That's your intention or your purpose, right? All of this is very simple. In such a system of thought, matter can be made to respond to the dictates of mind. So this is Psalm 82:6. Your mind can create and destroy everything around you. You create your own lifestyle. All right, your own life is created by you. You're the captain of your ship, the master of your destiny, or however that goes. All through the mind. Now don't forget, mind is feeling. This is the basis of the magical worldview. Y'all hear that? Magical, magi, magician. Now that's not hocus pocus. That's science. See, what people don't understand, they may look at it as being magic, but it's science, right? These things are the result of systematic observance and study of nature and natural phenomena. That's a basic definition of science. These days they use the scientific method, so you can throw scientific method in there instead of the systematic study of or observation, all right? So don't get it twisted. I'm not talking about hocus pocus. I'm talking about science, all right? And our ancestors mastered all of the sciences, all right? Law, medicine, architecture. I'm talking about one man, one woman. Master of architecture, master of mathematics, master of linguistics, master philosophy. That's like having a PhD in cosmology or astronomy, PhD in mathematics, PhD in aerosciences, PhD in engineering, PhD in law. Y'all get what I'm saying? Okay, so this should be our goal, to return to the principles, the heritage, the culture, lifestyle of our ancient foremothers and forefathers. So we got a lot to do. Turn off the TV, stop listening to that toxic music. Start educating yourself. Build a home library. Build a home library. See, when you begin to study, you go for your PhD. I'm not saying you need to do it through a university, but you understand what I'm talking about. You become a master of these subjects. Now you don't have time to gossip or to worry about or to even care about or acknowledge when someone's gossiping about you. So Brandon put it in the comments section because it went too fast on my notification. Good to hear from you. All right? So that's going to consume a lot of time. That also gives you and your woman, your consort, a reason to stay together. Give you something to work on. Projects that you can share. The project becomes the focal point. Common goals. Y'all working toward the same thing. You have something else to talk about. Okay? Instead of she's at home or she's at work, y'all got separate jobs, separate days, and then y'all come home. You don't have anything in common other than you come home. You grow apart. But if you're studying together, y'all involved in the same projects, well, you got a lot to talk about. You got much more to hang on to, much more to be happy about, much more to be grateful about. Many more things to say thank you for to each other. Trust each other, depend on each other much more when you're connected like this, right? You're not going to grow apart. Well, let me rephrase that. Because a lot of us are so toxic right now. In the present state, you have to deal with all of that lower self stuff, right? So when you rise up to higher self-consciousness and behavior, well then, that's when your shine is, right? That's where your shine is. All right? Let me see if I can I don't know if this is going to mess my signal up, but let me see if I can get your comment. So Brandon writes, interesting, I like the series. Have you received other feedback? Yes. I don't know if the comments, some people have been writing comments, but I'm not sure if those comments are showing up after the live stream. For some reason, the comments during the live stream haven't been showing up. When the live stream is over, you can't read them. So I know I set the settings so that the comments will be visible. But sometimes I notice that my settings are changed. Like my lives are public, but I go check it and they've been changed to private. Okay? Or sometimes I can't share a live stream. It's telling me I need to make it unlisted if I'm a sharer. But I found a way around it. So I don't know if this is a glitch. Well, I doubt if it's a glitch in their applications, right? But anyway, it is what it is. But yeah, people have been telling me that they've been going through things, and these videos have addressed it. And many people have said thanks for these videos. But I appreciate that, and I hope you share more. Hey, and you're welcome to come in, man. We can do some streams together. But I don't know what your schedule is. You know, we're 12 hours apart. But anytime you want to, you're welcome to come in, participate in the live. Right now, we can do a live on YouTube. I can send you the link and you can come in on your cell phone or laptop. But anyway, just let me know. And I'll send you the link. But it's good to hear from you. All right. This is the basis of the magic of the magical worldview, which can accommodate the gardener's green fingers, the shaman's rain dance, and the healing prayer with relative ease. In cursing the fig tree, JC masters those things symbolized by the earth. Now remember, there's earth, air, fire, and water. JC masters those things symbolized by the earth, and so has now demonstrated control over all four elements, which I just named. Now, of course, this is a doctrine that this author just presented us with, right? Because it's not written anywhere. But given he holds the title of Reverend, and he has this secret information, well, I'm going to give him, I'm going to acknowledge that his doctrine that he presents here in this paragraph is accepted in the Christian religious circles. Well, let me repeat that. In the secret society circles. Because it's all of the religions. Y'all know that all of the religions at the head, the leaders are all involved in secret societies, and none of them practice. None of them practice the religions that they teach, that they promote. I hope everyone knows that. The religion is for the masses. Like JC said, he speaks to the people, the masses, in parables so that they would never understand and get the sense of it and repent and be saved. That's why he spoke in parables. This is why the tops of these religious organizations spew out religion so that you will not ever repent and be saved. You're not inside the house, you're outside. The secret society members are inside the house, so they get to understand what these stories or parables actually mean, so that they can understand and get the sense of it and repent and be saved. In other words, what I'm presenting to you now, this call for you to return to natural law, return to the Most High, follow His commandments. His commandments are natural law. See, they get that. And you get dogma and doctrine, right? Dogma, doctrine, same thing. That's what you get. And because they're harmonizing with nature, they can repent from what? From having the mindset that you have and the lifestyle that you have and the belief system that you have. They repent, turn around, walk away from belief systems and harmonize with nature, and they're saved. And they are saved. Y'all get it? You are, my friend, in religion in hell. You're a debtor. You're in hell. You're a civil leader mortus. You have no right to inherit. You can't give an inheritance and you cannot receive one. You have no standing in law, period. In North America, they call you a 14th Amendment bitch. Yes. All right? That's your status, a 14th Amendment bitch. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm telling you like a TIS is. 14th Amendment employee of the U.S. corporation. Chattel. That means you are a slave. Let me repeat that. You're in bondage. Yeah, let me state that again. You are in bondage. You are a debtor. You're holding the bag. That's why I said you're a bitch. All right? Anyway, we're 41 minutes into it. Be sure to support my project to write the book of the law in ancient Ibaryath and modern English. So in the project, I will include, in other words, natural law will no longer be hidden. Cosmology will no longer be hidden. I'm going to show it. And I'm going to show you the evidence, the proof of its existence. I'm going to remove all Jeremiah 8:8 occurrences, which means lies and deceits and doctrine to create and establish religions. I'm going to remove them. Where appropriate, I'll actually explain the situation to you. Okay? So I'm going to give you the Ibaryath, the ancient Ibaryath word. Some people call it Paleo Hebrew. I'm going to give you the Ibaryath word. Its etymological meaning. I'm going to show you how I render it in English. I'm going to show you the unfinished sentence, the rough sentences. And then I'm going to give you the polished sentence that reflects accurately, faithfully reflects the Ibaryath sentence, text. Okay? With footnotes from people who understand linguistics, who may have a different, or who have a differing point of view where they're willing to share it. Okay? So this is a very big project to write the book of the law. So if you feel it in your heart to support the production, the writing and production, distribution and marketing of our own book of the law, be sure to support it. I'm not going to do it without mass support because it's too big, it takes too much time, and I'm just not in the point in my life where I feel like I can make these type of huge sacrifices alone anymore. Okay? I don't want to live on soy sauce and rice or put myself in a situation where I have a stress, heart attack, or stroke. So I need y'all support. Okay? As I always say, you look at the KJV, NIV, all of these different Bible versions. These are written by committees, translation committees, multiple people. They get a salary. They have research teams backing them up. This is a big project, all right? So y'all keep that in mind. So if you feel like we need our own book of the law, if it's embarrassing that we don't, you know, you hear these Hebrew Israelites talking about, oh, there's a movement. There's no movement. How can it be a movement? We don't even have our own book of the law. How can that be a movement? We're still using our oppressors' documents that have been altered, clearly altered, added to and taken away from. Things hidden. That's a shame. It's a shame, a humiliation, and an embarrassment. Can y'all imagine how they're laughing at us? How stupid we look in these people's eyes? That's why you hear some of these, William Dose write, dang, I didn't get a notification. William, nobody does. Almost nobody. I checked my analytics, and I think only 6 or 8 people received notifications for a whole month. So no one wants us, you, to get this information. Because once the fear that these religious systems have placed upon you, once that falls off, once you return to following the Most High's commandments, i.e., following natural law, it's a wrap for them. It's a wrap for them. You're going back into your proper status. Now, guess what? Guess what? We have the Treaty of Peace and Friendship between the Moroccan Empire and the United States, North America. You can invoke it in your proper status. But y'all need to learn about the treaty. All right? No need to suffer, y'all. No need to suffer. Okay? No need to suffer. Okay? Our ancestors put that in place for us. You can stop the escheat. You can nullify the bills of attainder, and you can get your stuff back. All right? Shalawama, Islam to all the Moors. When I say get your stuff back, I'm talking about land. Everything. Everything. All right? And many people have already started doing it. So I'm going to leave that where it's at. I have many books that I've written, Ancient Ibaryath. If you don't know Ancient Ibaryath, you're lost in the sauce. Okay, that's the beginning. You need to understand and master linguistics. You need to understand Ancient Ibaryath to understand the book of the law, period. No ifs, and, or buts about it. So I have classes and books available for y'all who are not afraid to take that leap. You're not afraid to take that leap. I got the tools there for you. Streaming class, 101 Ancient Ibaryath, a live online class, 506 The Curses course. Go deep into the Ancient Ibaryath of the contract, and I have books. From simple to complex. You come to the Saturday 10 a.m. class, I'll teach you how to translate the Hebrew scriptures. All right, so it's there, but you got to take that leap. You got to muster up the courage or the self-discipline or whatever it is that got you sitting on the fence or running scared. I don't know your situation, but I know plenty of people who've told me in the past that they were afraid because they'd lose all of their friends. All right? Anyway, Islam and Shalawama to all of the Moors. Genesis chapter 2.